Hello and welcome. I'm Lee with Lee's Garage, and welcome to the first episode of Stolen Showcars, a series where I take cars off the streets of Los Santos and show you just how cool you can make it look on a tight budget. The way this is going to work is I'm just going to start driving around and randomly grab a car off the streets. So before we actually get into this one, I just want to say, if you want to go check out the video on this car, the Growler, I just threw it up the other day, and it was the podium vehicle for this last week. For this one, we've got the Lombardi Felon GT. Definitely not the slowest in the world, but it's still just a random car off the streets of Los Santos. But I think this has a pretty strong bones for making a show car out of it. I had the name of the company wrong for this thing. So this is the Lampadati Felon GT. For this type of series, we're just going to be doing the bare minimum to make it look nice, so you can still have a very low budget friendly type of car. So the first one, we're going to drop down. Okay, not incredible suspension changes. For windows, we're actually going to skip the windows on this one because it is a convertible. So that saves you another $5,000 on this one. And of course, pick wheels of your choice. I always sort of would go for something from the street or track category if you have a little bit more money. I've actually been looking for a car to do a build on with the hidden sixes. So we're going to go for those. Go try and sort out the color for this car. I think something in the reds. Ooh, like a nice Cabernet. For our pearlescent. Let's see here. Ooh, just the plain red actually pairs quite nice with it. Yeah, we're going to go for that one. Then plate, we're going to go my way. And then the yellow on black. And back to our wheels. Let's find a different color for these. I think that bronze has pretty good potential. So right now, obviously, it's not terrible, but doesn't look incredible. We're going to see if we can lower this thing. So for those of you who don't know how to lower it, you're going to need something like the heavy sniper, or the other one is this guy, the heavy revolver. What you're going to want to do is shoot, and you're going to want to shoot the wheels on these, but for this one here, the left rear, or driver side rear, you don't want to shoot in the middle, because sometimes I can accidentally pop the gas tank. So I shoot a little bit lower down into the corner. Typically 5 shots should be able to lower it. And you can see 1, 2, and on the third one, it drops and stays lower. And then after 2 more, it's as low as it will go. Beautiful. Look at that. So you can already see, just off the bat, how much of a difference lowering it makes. Go up to one of my favorite spots and get some cinematic shots first, though. Beautiful. This is one of my favorite spots in the game. This is up at Richmond Glen. Here we go. So you just want to go up. So here's a heist here, the Miguel Drazo one for the Cayo Perico. Just go up the road a little bit, convenience store over down the street. And you'll see these buildings up here. It has some pretty good scenery, and it's just a nice place to show off cars. I honestly feel pretty confident about that first build. I feel like it would class as a pretty good show car. But now we gotta find a second one. Hey, there's something fun. This is a Bravado Buffalo. And this one we found okay, buddy. So don't mind the cost, but this is the Bravado Buffalo that released with the game when it first came out. I found this one over here on the Del Perro beach. Del Perro? Ah, we found this at the pier. All things considered, for this being a muscle car, it does feel quite heavy when you're trying to throw it into corners. But it also It's fairly quick for what it is, you know. It's based off this would be the Charger from, this would be an SRT8 Charger pretty much. So obviously no performance upgrades. It's going to be just as slow as it was before, but might ride a little bit better with suspension. Of course, we're going to lower it down. Okay, that is what I was talking about. Sometimes if you don't angle it right, it can blow you up, which is actually quite unfortunate as I did not put insurance on that, which is, that is a good point. Make sure to put insurance on these cars if you want to keep them. Yep, we're gonna grab this thing off the street right here. Yep, and if you don't want a bounty on you, you just sort of have to kill the person that you steal it from. So here we have the Vapid Stenier. Could be saying that wrong. Doesn't really matter at the end of the day though. So first things first, this thing does not have any suspension options. We're going to keep that in mind. We are going to go limo tint on it. And we're going to look up here. We're going to go the My Way plate, yellow on black. And we don't have pretty much any more customization, so we're going to go straight into the wheels. Trying to find something that sort of fits it here. This one, we're going to go for the Big Mamba. We're going to go black wheels. And for our color, we're going to go for a black metallic. And we're going to go ahead and throw something a little bit subtle. Go ahead and throw on a cream as our pearlescent. Sort of get that little bit of a very dark champagne look. Just because a car doesn't necessarily have a suspension option to lower it, doesn't mean you can't get it low. If you shoot out the suspension, I mean, this looks miles better than its, standard factory ride height. Ooh, we're gonna get some cinematics of it parked up with the jet. Hell yeah. Yes. Yes, please. Thank you. Here we have the Zirconium Stratum, one of the few wagons in this game. Not completely sure what it's modeled after, though.
Here for the magic touch?
First thing, we're going to go ahead and lower this thing down as much as we can. Not terrible. Not, not the best, not the worst. Options, we're going to go limo tint. And we're actually going to take a look at the tuner wheels first. Okay, we took a look. We're going to go to the other sets now. The Cosmic Mark IIIs could look pretty good, but that's sort of a very basic style. The Organic Type 2s, it's kind of hoping for something a little bit like a three-piece look. Or not a three-piece, tri-spoke. There we go. Just for that tri-spoke design. If I can find the photo, I've got a reference photo. This sort of inspires this one. And go ahead and throw on the slicers. And we'll come back to the wheel color. Now for our primary color, in the realm of purple. I think that midnight purple is going to be perfect for this. Yeah, we're going to go ahead and keep the bright purple as our pearlescent. And for our wheels, we're going to go for frost white. Alright, we're going to go ahead and lower this thing down now. Beautiful. Keep saying beautiful about all of them, but look at that. It's got a sort of deep purple. And honestly, I'm not a big fan of the tri-spokes on most cars, but on this one, it just kind of fits. In terms of speed, obviously it's not going to be breaking any records. All things considered, for this being the first episode in the series, I feel like we have some pretty good builds going. All that are quite easy to build. You know, there's nothing super complex about them. And the vast majority of them are pretty darn cheap too. The biggest expense is the wheels or insurance. Thank you very much for watching. This is Lee with Lee's Garage, and I'll see you next time. Well, this is about as good as any time. Fire made of my creations.